My unhinged neighbor marched into my pool like it was hers. She claimed she and her kids were entitled to use it anytime they wanted. The problem was, that pool was clearly on my private property. I finally had my dream pool, a symbol of everything I'd ever worked for, but then a neighbor turned it into a nightmare, shattering not just my property but my sense of peace. What started as a simple act of kindness spiraled into an all-out war, culminating in bolt cutters, a backyard invasion, and a fight that sent one man to jail and nearly cost me everything. My husband, Mark, and I stood in front of our new house in Boise, keys heavy in my hand, still not quite believing it was real. I was 42, and this was the first place I could truly call my own. Not a rental, not a temporary stay, not living by someone else's rules. This was legally and permanently mine. Mark, at 45, and I had spent 7 years, literally 7 entire years, saving every single cent we could possibly scrape together to make this happen. Every bonus, every tax return, every extra dollar we squeezed from our budget went straight into that house fund. I managed a department store, same job for 20 years, same daily grind, same customers who knew me by name. Mark fixed computers and networks downtown. Together, we'd managed to put aside $12,000 for one specific thing, a modest fiberglass pool in the backyard. We even helped install it ourselves, with a friend who knew construction, just to save money. My back still ached from that weekend, and I swear I discovered muscles I didn't know existed. And honestly, that pool meant more to me than the house itself. More than the updated kitchen, more than the renovated bathroom, more than any other fancy feature. Because I grew up poor. The kind of poor where you don't just skip luxuries, you skip necessities. Shoes worn until they fell apart, then taped together for another month. Cereal for dinner 3 nights a week. Talking about owning a swimming pool would have been as absurd as talking about owning a private jet. I'd only swam once in my entire childhood, and I remembered it with the kind of crystal clarity that only comes with truly significant moments. I was 9 years old, skinny, sunburned, and desperately self-conscious, standing at this massive house in the wealthy part of town where my mother worked cleaning twice a week for extra money. The family who lived there had everything we didn't, a sprawling house, expensive cars, furniture from magazines, and most importantly, this enormous in-ground pool with crystal clear blue water and an actual diving board. One afternoon, I still don't know why they did it. Maybe they felt sorry for the poor cleaning lady's daughter. Maybe they were just generous. But the owners told my mother I could use the pool for exactly 1 hour while she finished her work. I still remember every single detail of that hour like it happened yesterday instead of 33 years ago. How nervous I felt walking out to that pool in my old, faded swimsuit that used to belong to a cousin and was already too small. How the wealthy woman smiled at me, but in that way that made it clear she knew exactly how poor we were. How the water felt when I first stepped in, cool, clean, chlorinated, and like nothing I'd ever experienced. How free I felt floating there on my back, staring up at the bright blue Idaho sky, forgetting for 60 perfect minutes that I was the poor kid whose clothes came from donation bins, whose lunch at school was subsidized, and who sometimes pretended not to be hungry because there wasn't enough food at home. I dreamed about having my own pool someday, even though it seemed as full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.